the Knicks should be the best team in the East. And that is not really a hot take. It's them and the Cavs this year. Because with Giannis losing Dame, of course the Celtics lost JT, the Pacers lost Hallie. That's 3 of the top 5 teams in the East. And the Knicks only got better. They improved their bench, bringing in Jordan Clarkson, bringing in Malcolm Brogdon, bringing in Gershon Yabusele. They got a couple of young guys as well. But overall, I mean, with the starting lineup like they have, the star power of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, and then Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, this is a fantastic starting 5. They really have a chance to make it all the way to the finals. And the Knicks have fixed all of their biggest problems from last year. The root of these problems were that they had no bench, so they go out to get guys like Malcolm Brogdon, who averaged about 13, 4, and 4 last year in 27 minutes. Did that on 43% shooting from the field and 29% from 3. He's a guy that can come in. Remember, he won the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award just a couple of years ago. He can still play at a very, very high level, and now coming in and playing in New York behind guys like Jalen Brunson, he should have a chance to show that. He only got to play in 24 games last year due to injuries, and the teams he were on were pretty much tanking. So veteran talent really had no spot. So they bring in Malcolm Brogdon to go with their core of guys like Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and the mayor of New York is primed for yet another big-time season. But like I said, they fixed their problems. They had their big 4 of Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and they played 82% of the minutes. They had 82% of the points per game in the playoffs last year. It was ridiculous. And now they go out, they finally get some talent like Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, we just mentioned Brogdon, and then maybe one of the young guys will step up, although it kind of looks like Tyler Kolek is the odd man out here in New York. But as for the Knicks, they have Brunson, they have Towns, who that duo turned out to be really, really good last year. There were some question marks about it, but no more are those because they proved everybody wrong. They came in and they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year where they came up just short. Jalen Brunson, 6'2" with a 6'4" wingspan. If you saw the picture that Karl Anthony Towns posted the other day on Instagram, pretty funny. The chemistry for this Knicks squad is unmatched. But Brunson, I mean, he might be the best sub 6'2" scorer in the league, because do we really believe he's 6'2"? I don't. 26 points a game with 7.3 assists, 49% shooting from the field, 38% from 3 on about 6 attempts per game. And, I mean, the best part is he levels up in the playoffs. When he gets to the playoffs, he is flat out unguardable. This man can take over a game like it's nobody's business. In the 2025 playoffs, he was just shy of a 30 ball every night with 7 assists on 46% shooting from the field, 36% from 3 on 7.5 attempts per game. The left-handed assassin, he's incredibly tough to stop. And when you pair him with a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, a 7-footer that can stretch the floor and do all sorts of things with the basketball in his hands, things can get scary. And Towns really proved himself last year in New York. He was seen as a guy that was always in foul trouble, that really couldn't get over the hump, and now as a 7-footer with a 7'4" wingspan has come into New York, and he was taking over games down the stretch last year in the playoffs with both his 3-point shooting, but also his ability to just go to the rim, put his head down and score, because he is a big dude. He averaged 24 and almost 13 rebounds, 53% shooting from the field, 42% from 3. Do you realize how absurd those stats are for a man that is that big? But overall, he didn't transform his game, but he took it to the next level. I mean, he almost led the league in rebounds, as well as averaging a more than efficient 25 for a game. OG at 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. Perfect wing to have here in New York. I wish he would have played a little bit better in the playoffs because his efficiency was just not there at 41% from the field and 34% from 3. But, you know, a part of this could be because Tom Thibodeau was running him into the ground, and he just had no stamina. And I know he's a professional basketball player, but playing 42, 43 minutes a night, some of those games are going into overtime, double overtime, and he's playing every single minute of them. It gets tiring. Speaking of playing every single minute, Mikal Bridges here, who is yet another elite 3-and-D wing. Between Bridges, who is 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan, and then OG, who we just talked about at 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan, they have the best 3-and-D wing duo in the league. And these guys aren't even role players. They could be stars on their own team, but a guy like Bridges, who averages almost 18 a game with 3.7 rebounds and 3.2 assists, while shooting 50% from the field, and not to mention he plays every single game of every single season, played 82 games last year. He's a guy you can build a franchise around, but instead he's the 4th option here in New York. Now, probably their best add of the offseason was without a doubt Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson's a guy that can come in and he can take over games off the bench. He's got that microwave score. He's won 6 Man of the Year awards for a reason. Last year in Utah, in what was a throwaway season for them, he averaged 16 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 3.2 assists on 41% shooting from the field, 36% from beyond the arc. And the Knicks get him in after he buys out his contract with the Jazz on a 1-year, $2.3 million deal. That is thievery right there for a guy that just averaged 16 a game on 41-36 shooting splits. Not bad whatsoever. And this is what their bench could look like next year when you throw in Yabusele into that, who we're about to talk about. Deuce McBride, of course, is back. Mitchell Robinson's back. And they're going to kind of need Pacom Diade or maybe Tyler Kolek, although, like I said, Kolek's probably the odd guy out here with Brogdon now. But it'll take Brogdon a little bit to acclimate up to the Knicks culture heading into the preseason and then the season. So it's still the Jordan Clarkson show off the bench as of right now. Like I promised, we were going to talk about Yabusele next, who became a fan favorite in Philadelphia this year, and now he is a member of the New York Knicks. And Philly fans are not the happiest about this. They're generally not that happy overall, but now the Yabusele is in New York, they're even more unhappy. 2 years, $11 million is the contract the Knicks threw at Yabusele, and he accepted. 11 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1 steal in 27 minutes, shot 50% from the field, 38% from 3 on 4 attempts. And Gershon, he's just a really good role guy, right? He's not going to come in and do anything crazy. Now, he does have some pretty big highlights for a guy that is 6'8", 265. The way he gets off the ground is pretty special for a man that is that big, knocking down threes over Wemby here, his French national team teammate. And I mean, look at the big man get up, dunk it all over Denny Avdia. And then, as we said earlier, it's probably going to be Pacom Diade that they need to step up this year over Tyler Kolek. Kolek might get cut, to be honest. But Diade, who is 6'9", he doesn't have a great wingspan because it's only 6'9", so he's kind of at a net negative wingspan there. But he can shoot the 3-ball a little bit. Tibbs didn't play either of the young guys last year, so this is his first chance to really show people what he can do. He can knock down the 3-ball, as we've seen in these not very extensive highlights, right? There's not a lot of him out there right now just because Tibbs didn't play him hardly at all last year, and hopefully we get to see him more as a 6'9" wing coming in, and he can slash a little bit, he can shoot the 3-ball as we've seen, so hopefully we get to see more of him this year. And then, like I said, Kolek is probably on the way out after having, other than this Brooklyn game, a pretty bad summer league, but I really like Kolek. I still think he's pretty good. He's always been hooping, whether it's at Marquette or wherever, but this is what the bench could be looking like this year. You could swap out Diade with Malcolm Brogdon, but then you got Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns coming off the starting lineup. Josh Hart, we talked about him a little bit in the open, but just the glue guy, the ultimate glue guy in the modern NBA. There to rebound. He'll get a ridiculous amount of rebounds for a guy his size, and then he'll hit a 3-ball every now and then. Deuce McBride, another guy that is an absolute dog, fan favorite off the bench, can defend, can knock down the 3-ball, can slash and distribute a little bit. And then you have Mitchell Robinson, who's been here through thick and thin for the New York Knicks, and he's ready to win. At the end of the day, rim protector, he's going to either come off the bench. You could see some lineups with him starting with Cat out there. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.